Let's be brutally honest. Most people who start calisthenics will never get the body they want. Not because it's impossible, not because they're genetically unlucky, but because they keep making the same mistake. They treat calisthenics like a workout, when in reality, it's a lifestyle. Here's the cold truth. Muscles don't grow just because you did a few push-ups. Strength doesn't build just because you struggled through a set of pull-ups. The body changes for one reason and one reason only. You force it to adapt by living in a way that demands it. The problem? Most people train with random effort instead of engineered habits. They work out when they feel like it, they eat when it's convenient, and they rest only when they're exhausted. This isn't training, it's hoping. And hope doesn't build muscle. Now imagine this. What if every rep you did, every meal you ate, every minute you rested, all stacked together into a system that works on you 24/7, even while you sleep? That's the difference between slow, barely noticeable progress and 10x faster, almost unfair results. See? The human body is nothing but a biological machine. It adapts to whatever input you give it. And here's the scary part. It doesn't care whether that input is good or bad. Feed it weak effort, inconsistent routines, and random recovery, it will adapt to stay weak. But feed it the right habits, executed consistently, and it has no choice but to explode in strength, muscle, and endurance. These habits are not optional. They are the non-negotiables that elite calisthenics athletes live by without even thinking about it. Once they're locked into your daily routine, you stop needing motivation. You stop thinking about pushing yourself. Your environment, your schedule, your body all start working for you instead of against you. And that's when the magic happens. You wake up every week noticing visible changes. Your push-ups feel lighter, your pull-ups multiply, your endurance soars. People start asking what you're doing differently, and you almost laugh because to you, it just feels normal now. Today, I'm going to break down the 5 calisthenics habits that flip this switch, habits that transform your training from a slow grind into an unstoppable growth engine. If you've ever wondered why some people seem to progress 10 times faster than others with the exact same exercises, pay attention. Because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to make that happen for yourself. Habit 1. Master relentless progression. Never repeat the same effort. Here's the #1 killer of calisthenics progress. Repetition without progression. Most people proudly say, I do 50 push-ups every day, thinking they're building a monster physique. What they don't realize is your body is smarter than you think. Do the same thing over and over, and your muscles adapt and then stop growing. You have to understand, the body doesn't care about numbers, it cares about challenge. If yesterday you did 10 pull-ups, and today you do the same 10, you didn't train. You repeated. And repetition without progression is just maintenance, not growth. Elite calisthenics athletes live by relentless progression. That means every workout, they're asking one question. How can I make this harder than last time? That could mean adding reps, slowing the tempo, adding an extra set, reducing rest, or switching to a harder variation. Here's why this works. When you force your body into slightly harder territory every single time, you trigger a biological alarm. Your nervous system and muscle fibers realize they are not strong enough for the new demand. That's when they start building new muscle tissue, strengthening connective tissue, and upgrading your coordination. This isn't about ego, this is science. The comfort zone is the enemy. Every time you train, you're either feeding growth or feeding stagnation. If you're serious about 10x growth, you cannot repeat the same effort twice. You have to build a habit of constant strategic overload. Habit 2. Eat for performance, not just for calories. Most calisthenics beginners think they need to eat big or just hit their protein. Wrong. The truth is, food isn't just fuel. Food is a performance enhancer or performance destroyer, depending on how you use it. If you wake up sluggish, feel weak halfway through your workout, or struggle to recover, it's not because calisthenics isn't for you. It's because you're not eating for performance. Elite athletes don't eat randomly. They engineer their meals around their training. Here's the difference. They time carbs before training to fuel explosive reps. They hit fast-digesting protein post-workout to start muscle repair immediately. They use micronutrient-rich foods, spinach, berries, nuts, to reduce inflammation so they can train hard again sooner. And here's the manipulative truth your lazy brain won't like. Your muscles don't grow in the workout. They grow when you're recovering, and recovery is built on nutrients. If you keep giving your body junk, it will rebuild weak, slow, and tired. Feed it power foods, and it rebuilds into a machine. Eating for performance isn't dieting. It's giving your body no excuse not to grow. Habit 3, ruthless recovery discipline. Ask 100 beginners what they're doing for recovery, and 90 will say, "I rest when I feel tired." That's like saying you only refuel your car when it completely breaks down. The truth? Recovery is not passive, it's an active process. If you want 10x growth, you have to treat recovery as seriously as training. This means it's not an okay, scheduling rest days with purpose, prioritizing 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep every night, using mobility drills and stretching to keep your joints ready for intense training. Elite athletes know that muscle breakdown without muscle repair is just self-destruction. You can train like a beast, but if you don't recover like a professional, you'll stay stuck in a cycle of soreness, plateaus, and even injury. Here's the hard truth. Growth isn't limited by how hard you train. It's limited by how fast you can recover from training. The better you recover, the more often you can push your limits, and the faster you grow. If you think rest means lying on the couch, scrolling your phone, you're wrong. Real recovery is intentional. It's preparing your body for the next assault. Habit 4. Lock your environment for success. Discipline is overrated. Yes, you heard that right. The strongest athletes in the world don't rely on willpower, they design their environment so success is automatic. If you want to 10x your growth, you need to remove friction from your training routine. That means, have your workout space set up in advance. Keep your pull-up bar visible where you pass by daily. Lay out your workout clothes the night before. When everything is ready and visible, your brain sees training as normal, not as a special, difficult event. And here's the psychological twist. When your environment is loaded with training cues and stripped of distractions, you don't waste energy on deciding to work out. You just do it. Most people fail because they try to fight their environment. They keep their equipment hidden, train in a cluttered space, and surround themselves with distractions. That's like trying to run uphill in mud. Change your environment, and you remove 80% of the excuses holding you back. Habit 5. Treat every rep as a skill, not just an effort. Most beginners think calisthenics is just doing the exercise. Push up, drop down and push. Pull up, hang and pull. That mindset is why their progress is slow. They treat every rep as mindless effort instead of precision skill work. Elite athletes obsess over form, tempo, and control because they know that how you do each rep determines how fast you grow and how strong you become. When you treat reps as a skill, you activate more muscle fibers. You reduce wasted energy. You train your nervous system for better coordination and strength. This habit flips the script. Instead of chasing numbers, you chase mastery. And here's the twist. When you chase mastery, the numbers explode anyway. Your brain and body are a team. If your brain is tuned in to perfect form, your body adapts faster because it's learning efficiency and strength together. That's when progress becomes unstoppable. These 5 habits aren't tips, they are laws. You either follow them, or you settle for slow, frustrating progress like everyone else. Lock them in, and you'll join the rare 1% who grow at a speed that others can't even believe. So here's the deal. You now know the 5 habits that can take your calisthenics results from meh to holy crap, who is this new person in the mirror? But here's where it gets interesting. Most people who watch this far will nod, agree, and then do absolutely nothing. And in 3 months, they'll still be complaining about not growing. Meanwhile, the 1% who actually apply these habits will be getting stronger, bigger, and more confident, while the rest are still thinking about starting. So, which one are you? The "I'll start tomorrow" crew or the "I'm already doing my first set" crew? Drop it in the comments. I want to see how many action takers are actually here. And if you're one of those silent watchers who never comments, let's change that today. Write your favorite habit from this list, or the one you struggle with the most, and I'll personally reply with 1 extra tip to make it easier. You'll either get a boost for your training, or a little friendly roast if you admit you've been slacking. Either way, I'm watching the comments like a hawk, so don't disappear. Because if you're serious about 10x growth, your first rep starts right now, not after you watch one more video.